Welcome to Satsang. So beautiful to be together with all of you. Can you hear me okay in the back? थोड़ा सा बढ़ा दीजिएगा भैया, धन्यवाद. Wonderful. As usual, we start with one of the questions that comes in advance from our online family, or sometimes from people here who didn't have a chance to get their question answered, but people who aren't able to be with us here. And then we'll open it up for any questions that anyone here might have. There's a microphone right there, so feel free to just come to the mic. You don't have to wait for me to see you and call on you. Just come to the mic and share your name, share where you're from, and share your question. But first, one that's come in advance. How do we choose a guru? And this is asked by Saily Walv on Instagram. How do we choose a guru? Well, I can tell you how you don't choose a guru, which is actually a lot easier than the how you do it. Because there's a lot of beautiful ways to find one's guru. But let's go through the ways not to find a guru. Number one, the way that you would shop for something online. I know for me, if I need to buy something online, let's say I'm buying just new toothpaste or shampoo or sunscreen or, one of the few products that I use. I'm going to compare a bunch of things. For me, on a personal level, the first thing is going to be, is it totally natural? Like, would I eat it? What are the ingredients? I'm going to look at what is the impact on the planet. Is it organic? Is it fair trade? Was it made in some place where women and children or animals were being harmed in the process of it? Was it tested on animals? So I'm going to look at the aspects of nonviolence. I'm going to look at how long is it going to take to arrive. Because typically I remember to do that sort of shopping like somewhere between 24 and 36 hours before I leave America to come back to India. So it's always a matter of, what's going to come tomorrow? So you go through a list of priorities and preferences and, all the different ways that we make decisions. And then you choose your shampoo or your toothpaste or your sunscreen, and you buy it. It's a great way to choose items you have to buy online. At least it works for me. It is not how you choose a guru. Do not start to look at, who's in the right age range, who's the gender I want, who lives in the place that I want, who speaks it. Don't do it like that. It may seem logical. And you may actually find someone who is perfectly fine. But toothpaste can be fine. You don't want your guru just to be fine. You want the exact right one for you. And a lot of times our logical mind, the mind that weighs all of these different things, isn't actually our best ally in choosing a guru. Because the guru is going to be one who touches your heart and opens it and sees you, not your collection of issues or neuroses or challenges or whatever it is. The guru is the one who sees you as soul and is able to shine the light of you on you for you. And with that light, we see ourselves, and we see our path. But the guru is also the one who, when we need it, is really tough. Speaking from personal experience, it's not easy. I mean, I'm sure that there are gurus out there who just, massage your ego and tell you how absolutely wonderful and amazing you are. But given that we're all human, given that regardless of where we are on the path, we're still working with ego, we're working with ignorance, we're working with patterns from this life, patterns from previous lives. A good, real guru isn't going to be the one who just says, oh, yeah. You're great. They're going to remind you that the core of who you are is divine, but then they're going to give it to you when you are acting out of ego. They're going to give it to you when you're telling stories. I can always tell that what I'm saying is untruth from the deepest core level of self when I'm trying to speak to my guru and he is way more interested in the papers on his table than in what I'm saying. And the first time he did it, I was like, oh, is this, a bad time? Should I come back? And I realized as the years went by that it had nothing to do with me at a bad time. It had nothing to do with there being something more important. It had everything to do with an unspoken message that basically what I was saying was of zero relevance because it was not truth. I was telling some story. My guru doesn't watch TV, he doesn't read novels, he's not interested in stories. He wants truth. You go to him with truth, he's right there, fully present. You go to him with a story, he's got something better to do. And so the guru is going to give us these messages. Sometimes it's subtle and unspoken, like this one that I had to pick up on. Sometimes it's moments. One of my favorites was when he told me that I was the stupidest smart person he had ever met. So sometimes it's more specific than other times, but it's always very specific. It's in your face, whether it's verbal or nonverbal, whether it's direct or indirect. And it's very clear. You're off the path. You're off the path. Come back. Let's bring you back on the path. You want me to lift my eyes and look at you and start actually engaging with what you're saying? Say something that's true. Stop telling me some drama story. It's a way of bringing us into alignment. I mean, that's his way. Other gurus are different. His guru used to slap him, literally, physically. He doesn't do that to us. Sometimes I think it would be easier, but he doesn't. But that's what his guru did, just slapped him silly. One time he said he got 21 slaps in a day. So there's different ways of teaching. But the guru is the one who's going to bring you into your light. And our thinking mind, which is in most cases run by our ego, is not the best judge for who's going to take us out of our thinking mind and into our truth. So to choose the guru, what I would say is don't think of it as a choice. Think of it as an opening. Think of it as a readiness. Can you be open and ready to feel and know the presence of your guru when you meet him or her? So that suddenly you know, oh yeah, this is the person. Oh yeah, in this person's presence, I feel my light. Another way to know that they may not be the right one is when it's all about the light on them. A lot of times we mistake the light that the guru brings for just a lot of spotlight and charisma. Charisma's great, but it doesn't mean someone's your guru. There have been a lot of charismatic leaders throughout history who have not been people who we want to follow. So charisma in and of itself is not a factor that I would use. But a lot of times what we see is a lot of charisma and a lot of light being shown onto the guru. And it can be mistaken as, oh, that must be the right one, like look at the light on him or her. But actually the guru's the one who shows us not the light of themselves only, but the light of us. And so allow yourself to just be open and be present and be ready and be ripe to meet the right guru, so that you know when you're in their presence. And until that time, these days we're so blessed. It's so much easier than it was decades and decades ago or hundreds of years ago, where we didn't have access to wisdom from people who were no longer in their bodies, from people who lived in another country. These days, we have such beautiful access. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. Sometimes it can even take you in the wrong direction. But it's actually such a benefit if we can use it well. If we don't have a guru in our life, and even if we do, to listen to read, to learn from so many other beautiful masters, so many other yogis, so many wise people. So if you don't have one yet, be like a honeybee, taking as much divine nectar as you can from as many different places. But work on yourself to be open and ready to realize that you have found the guru when you are in their presence. Great question, and an important one. They're all important, actually, but this is a topic that comes up a lot. Yeah, other questions that anyone here has? Yes, of course, come.
Pranam, Sadhviji.
Pranam.
Sadhviji, like myself and some of my friends, like people of my age, we youngsters, we often wonder that do we need to worry or contemplate about what's the purpose of life? Or should we just focus on our work, do our day-to-day responsibilities, take care of our family, focus on our personal growth and professional growth, and that is it. That is the purpose of life. Or is there something more esoteric, something bigger than us, which could be serving the society, serving the nation, or our own spiritual growth and development? So how to answer that? And often I've heard that you should just focus on like your basic financial stability, basic things, and then worry about purpose and such abstract concepts. So I often wonder how to answer this and how to
great question. So the first part, the purpose of our life is to wake up to the truth of who we are, which is divinity. You can say source, you can say consciousness, you can say Sat, Chit, Anand, truth, existence, consciousness, bliss, that beautiful confluence and constellation of them. You can say Brahman. You can say God. You can say divinity. You can say the ocean. Whatever word or metaphor works for you. But that's who we are. We're spirit, we're soul, we're divinity, we're consciousness, we're source, we're truth. Doing our duties, all of our different roles, our jobs, our families, these are part of what is known as our dharma that we have to fulfill. Our dharma is very closely linked with our karma. So we come into each birth the soul called Jivatma, this individual soul, comes into each life associated with a different body. You'll notice I didn't say in a different body because the soul's not actually contained in or confined to the body itself, but it's associated with a body. My Jivatma is associated with my body rather than with your body. It's not in my body. I couldn't say, oh yeah, it's right there in my wrist. But it's associated with this body. But the body will die, the soul will not. The body can be injured, the body can be sick, the soul is not. The body changes in size and shape, the soul does not change. But in each karmic incarnation, we come in with another set of dharma, aside from the universal dharma. Every one of us has a different karmic package. We've come onto earth with a different karmic journey. This is why we're in different bodies. It's why we were born in different parts of the world, in different genders, with different colors, different races, different socioeconomic statuses of our families. It's why we've had different educations, different childhood experiences, because it's all part of the karmic package that we come onto earth with. An aspect of that is our individual dharma. If part of your karmic package is to be in a family where your parents are, still alive at an old age and you're still alive when they're at an old age, well, it's part of your dharma to take care of them then. If part of your dharma is to be married and have kids, well, then you have the dharma of being a husband or a wife, a mother, a father. But we all also have our individual dharmas that have to do with, the word purpose is hard because it makes it seem like that is the reason you took birth and there's only one of them. And that's just not true for a lot of people. For a lot of us, our individual dharma has to do with different characteristics, different tendencies, different gifts, different lessons. These days, there's almost kind of an epidemic of panic of, oh my God, I don't know what my purpose is. Again, like we all are supposed to only have one, and like it's supposed to be super clear and fall in our lap, and that it's also supposed to be lucrative. It should be our career also. We should get paid to do it. And this just isn't true. Sure, for some people, for a minority of people, it happens like that. Occasionally you have people for whom that's their dharma. It's very clear when we look at people like our Prime Minister, for example. Obviously being the Prime Minister of India is obviously his dharma. This is very clearly what he came onto earth to do. Every once in a while you get people like that, Gandhi. Clearly that was his dharma. But for most of us, it's not a matter of one thing. It changes throughout our lives. We have different skills, different abilities, different inclinations, gifts, opportunities. That dharma means being open to the flow of the river of your life. What is it that you have to offer the world? What are your gifts? What can you be a channel for? Because the divine flow is there, waiting to flow through each of us. And it may flow through us in a bunch of ways, simultaneously or consecutively. But we stay open to it, with the awareness that my ultimate highest dharma is to remember I'm not actually this karmic package. It's if you read the Bhagavad Gita, it's very interesting the level at which Bhagwan Krishna speaks to Arjuna. because it's a treatise on Dharma. And on the one level, he's saying to Arjuna, you are a warrior. It is your Dharma to fight this battle. You have a Dharma to the people of the kingdom. You have a Dharma to your family. But on the other hand, he's saying to him, you are not the body. Arjuna says, I could die. He says, yeah, you could. But you're not the one who dies. Arjuna says, but I could kill them. They could die. He says, yeah. But they don't actually die. And you're not actually the one who kills them. And so on the one hand, he's speaking on this very earthly level. Here you are in this body with this karmic package, with this story at this intersection of time and space, these relatives who do these dirty things. Therefore, your dharma as a kshatriya, as a king, is to fight this battle. But your highest dharma is to realize who you are. But through standing up and embracing your dharma on earth, through not running from it, not fearing death, you come closer to touching the truth of who you are. So it's a two-level teaching on Dharma. You are the divine. He says, oh, Arjuna, you are the one who was never born. You'll never die. You cannot be burned by fire. You cannot be cut with knives. You cannot be wet with water. You cannot be dried by the wind. You are the eternal soul. And stand up and pick up your bow and arrow, because you got work to do. And you got to do it before the sun sets. So you see, it's a very interesting confluence of these two aspects of Dharma. And this is how all of us are meant to live. Yeah, do your duty. Do your duty as a son, as a father if you've got kids, as a husband if you've got a family. Do your dharma in the workplace. But remember, your highest dharma is to realize who you are. That you're none of these roles, that you're none of these stories. And don't save it till the end. It's not a matter of, oh, well, let me do all these important things first, and then when I'm, old and feeble and I can't do anything, I'll sit on a swing and drink lemonade and get enlightened. It's not like that. Don't put it on your retirement checklist. It's meant to happen side by side, whatever we're doing. So have them both. And as you mentioned your friend circle, it's great. Support each other. Support each other. Have a beautiful sangha of sharing how you're fulfilling your dharma. Maybe your current job is part of it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's time to get a different job, or maybe it's time to do something different on your evenings and mornings and weekends that's more in alignment with your dharma. But also to remind each other when you get stuck. When you get on the phone or you get a whole barrage of texts, I hate my boss, my stupid, my secretary, just be the mirror that reflects it. Oh, Arjuna, you are the one who's never born, who never dies. You are not separate from your annoying secretary. You are one with the annoying boss. Just keep reminding each other. That's the power of real friendship. Yeah, great. Other questions? Yes, please. Pranam. Of course.
I guess I'll be asking the question that you have heard a lot of times. How to control your mind? And the reason I ask is, there's a lot going on in this world, And in my workplace, the work that I do, I have to think logically. But when it comes to life, a lot of time logic doesn't apply. With that, what happens, there are two people in a mind, and they are fighting all the time. And if the one that I don't like wins, I'm not happy. But the one that I like wins, I'm happy. I was reading a book and the author said happiness is like a bird on your balcony. And like, I didn't understand that, but I'm like, everyone wants to be happy all the time. Why it should be like a bird, who comes to your balcony and then flies. Yeah, thanks again. Really
Of
appreciate
course. So we all have these two voices in our minds. Most of us have many more than two voices, but we'll put them into two camps. The voice that if I listen to, I don't like the result. And the voice that if I listen to, I do like the result. There's a very famous parable of a young boy speaking with his grandfather, who's a very wise person. And the grandfather is telling him that there are these two wolves in his mind, and one wolf is going to guide him to truth, to righteousness, to light, to courage, and one wolf is going to guide him to darkness, to fear, to misery, to ego. And these wolves are fighting in his mind. And the boy says, "But Grandpa, which wolf wins?" And the grandfather says, "The one you feed." So it's a beautiful story. I've heard it in a lot of different ways. But the point being, it's up to us. I know that when I listen to this voice, when I metaphorically feed this wolf, I feel happy. I feel peaceful. I can sleep easy at night. I feel anchored and grounded and calm in my body. I can look myself in the mirror. I don't need a few shots of something to calm down at the end of the day or go to sleep. And when I feed this one, I feel unbalanced, unanchored, miserable. The voices in my head actually just keep getting louder and louder. This one leads to stillness. This one leads to chaos. So which one am I going to feed? Which one am I going to listen to? And that's where our free will comes in. But it's also where the practice of working with the mind comes in. And this was your first question of how do we control the mind? By working with it. The same way that you control anything else. I don't know if you've ever, tried to go roller skating or ice skating or skiing or water skiing or any of these sports that require you to use some apparatus other than your natural feet to actually move in the world. It's hard until you learn how to do it. And then you end up with, Olympic ice skaters doing things that bring tears to our eyes to watch how beautiful it is. Olympic skiers doing amazing things that, stop our breath. Now, the rest of us may never become an Olympic level roller skater or ice skater or a skier, but you could learn to do it. Even kids learn with practice. How do you work with balance? How do you work with the feet? You work with the arms. There's a whole way of learning how to stay up on a pair of skis, on a pair of ice skates. In the same way, we work with the mind. It's hard at first, but then you learn how to work with it. You work with our thoughts. A thought arises. And you look at it and you say, is this taking me in the direction I want to go? If so, I will go with it. I will get on that thought vehicle. And if not, then I won't. The example that I always give about this is if you're standing at a bus stop or you're at a train station, or you're at an airport, and the wrong bus pulls up to the bus stop, or the wrong flight is at the gate, you're not going to get on it just because it's there. You're going to understand, this is not my bus, this is not my flight, I'll wait. You're never going to say, oh, well, it's slowed down, I might as well get on. Oh, yeah, well, the plane is, parked at the gate, the ticket agency is letting everybody on board. Might tell a big thing. You'd never do it. You understand, this is not my plane. It's not where I'm going. In the same way, when thoughts arise in the mind, look at them. Recognize their vehicles. They're going to a destination. They've got, a destination written on it. Where are they taking us? If it's a thought of jealousy, of anger, of grudge, of competition, you can be sure that's destination misery. We know that. How do we know it? We've taken that bus before. We've been on that bus a lot. We know exactly where it goes. And we know how fast it gets there. And so you wait. Or, as your control gets better, you create a different thought. You don't even have to wait for a bus driver. You actually can create a different thought that's taking you exactly where you do want to go. Or, you work toward a thoughtless mind. You notice the thoughts like little wispy white clouds across a blue sky on a windy day. Ah, a cloud. Ah, anger. Ah, temptation. Ah, envy. You don't jump on it. You don't get attached. You notice it as it flies across the blue sky of your awareness. And slowly, 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 as you hold yourself and your thoughts in just awareness, no judgment, love, compassion, kindness, but you don't let them stick. You don't let them stick to you. Let them go. And slowly, 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 you'll find that you've got a lot more control over that mind, which thoughts are coming, where it's going. The practice of meditation allows you to learn the skill of watching the mind. Because the moment the mind wanders, you just bring it back. It wanders again, you bring it back. It wanders again, you bring it back. And you keep working with it as a skill. I always say the mind is a muscle. Think about it like that. You'd never expect yourself to bench press 200 pounds on the first day. You start by bench pressing 10 pounds. Then you go up to 20 pounds. Slowly, 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 you can bench press a lot. So you begin by just being aware of the thoughts. Aware of them, aware of them. Slowly, slowly, slowly. In that awareness, you develop control. You're going to let it come. You're not going to let it come. You're going to latch on to it. You're not going to latch on to it. But it takes time. But it's worth it. Beautiful. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, everyone. A beautiful morning and day to all of our family joining us from all over the world. And Krishna Priya will tell you how even when you leave from here, you can stay connected to satsang, and because this power of the community, this power of sangha is really important. And so I'm so happy to have all of you here, and we hope that when you leave from here, you'll become part of our online family, whether you can tune in live or not. Either way, send in your questions. We'll take your questions in advance. They'll then send you links of where you can watch it. But we hope that you'll all stay connected, and Tallulah's put together a beautiful podcast of satsang questions. Again, these questions with the answers. So wherever you are, so that you can stay connected, and together we can keep diving into truth. Yes.
As Sadhviji mentioned, we have a beautiful podcast called Ask Sadhviji. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and it's available for download. It's uploaded weekly, but we have a good many there, so we have at least 40 weeks of podcasts for you to listen to. And then please connect to Sadhviji on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and also on X under @Sadhviji. On Facebook, it's Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati, but you can type in Sadhviji and she comes right up. In Twitter, it's Sadhvi Bhagawati. And then, as Sadhviji mentioned, we do want your questions for future satsangs. So if you didn't ask a question tonight, or you have maybe a question that you're thinking about, please either find Tallulah or Karuna or myself and get your question written down so we can ask it. Or you can send it in to us via social media, and we will let you know when Sadhviji answers the question. So thank you so much, and have a beautiful, beautiful evening.
We also, by the way, with the weekly podcast, she also does a weekly meditation. So if you're looking to start a meditation practice, she does do a separate meditation every week, right? So there's also a separate meditation, a guided meditation that comes onto the podcast every week as well. So there's a good collection of those to start with if you're looking to start a meditation practice.